my son came up to me and asked me if I could make him a shield so he could have epic battles with his cousins. My son absolutely loves the Legend of Zelda games, and I'm quite a fan myself. We decided on creating a replica of Link's shield. I got started that very day. I scaled up a stock photo of Link's shield to the size I needed and used it to make templates, then use a router to get a nice clean cut using the templates as my guide. I wanted the shield to have a slight curve. To achieve this, I used multiple layers of hardboard and a custom clamping mold I made to do the trick. When applying glue to the front and back sections, I would stay about a 1/4 inch from the inside edge to prevent any glue from coming through on that side. I wanted to make certain I was centering the sections as best as possible. After one side was finished, I used a jigsaw and router to clean up the edges before gluing the front section on. And 12 hours later, I took the complete shield out from the mold and it has this nice curve to it. So I gave it a final sanding and prepped it for paint. Masking off the sections of the shield prior to paint was a very important step to prevent overspray on any finished surfaces. I sprayed on 2 coats of primer before adding my very first color. After the primer dried, I masked off the sides of the shields and I used a satin gray for the back side of the shield. I applied the paint in many thin coats. After I just removed the masking tape, it is time to mask it back up. I mask off the complete back side and begin work on the front. This side would be much more complex as it has many different colors. I started off with painting the inside a metallic blue made by Behr. And for the Hylian crest, I used a stencil blank and traced it out using a knife. This was my very first time using custom stencils, and the people at Hobby Lobby were very helpful. They got me everything I needed, which included something called stencil adhesive, which not only keeps the stencil from moving during painting, but also gives the end result sharp, beautiful lines. I was very pleased with how this crest turned out. Now, time for more masking, and this time to paint the border of the front of the shield. I used an aluminum color to give it a shiny metallic look. The great thing about these stencils is the fact that I can reuse them to create more copies of the shield since all my kids wanted one, including my youngest, which is only 3 years old. Now, after getting it all painted, we move on to making the handle. I used an oak dowel for the handle, which I then wrapped with some leather strips that I purchased off Amazon. I also added a strap opposite the handle. I used a slightly wider piece of leather here. I also used a small piece of elastic to keep it snug against the user's arm. And there you have it, the finished product. Like the video and subscribe to see more like it. See you next time.